What shall I render unto God for all of his mercy? What shall I render? Please tell me, what shall I give? God has everything, and everything belongs to him. God has everything, and everything belongs to him. What shall I render? Please tell me, what shall I give? Good morning, you all. All I can render is my mind, body, and soul. All I can render, that is all that I can give. God has everything, and everything belongs to him. God has everything, and everything belongs to him. What shall I render? Please tell me, what shall I give? Good morning, everybody, and happy Sunday morning. Let's have a little church before we have church today. I want to talk to you this morning about the idea of being generous. I want to tell you why it's better for me and you. It's better for us to give to people than it is for people to give to us. And I'm giving you 3 reasons today why it's better for us to give than for people to give things to us. And number one reason is because giving is just simply required. You say, what are you talking about, Brother Ricky? Well, let me show it to you. This is what Jesus is teaching in the book of, let's see here, Luke chapter 6. No, Luke, let's see here. No, that's not the scripture I'm on. All right. So Jesus teaching this, I forgot the scripture. Thought I had it up here. So Jesus teaching this lesson. And he's like, when you do something for somebody and it's a good deed, he's like, listen, he says, you don't expect to get some type of special reward because you did something good for somebody. He said, because whatever you did for that person, it's just your reasonable service because it was expected of you to do it. You say, expected of who? Expected of God. You say, how do you know that? Because God said in Matthew, the 25th chapter, he says that, when was I hungry and you fed me? When was I naked and you clothed me? Or when was I sick and in prison and you came to visit me? He said, when you do it to the least of these, you've done it to me also. He said, now that's good for you. Why? Because I'm requiring this of you. All right. So the number one reason for giving is because it's our duty. So everybody put duty in the chat, because people think life is going to be all right. Like they got a choice about whether they're going to give to people. And when I'm talking about giving to somebody, I'm talking about going out of your way to do something that's sacrificial, not just some little regular stuff, some little everyday stuff that don't cost you nothing, where there's no sacrifice involved. I'm talking about your time. Giving ain't always about your money. You might not have a lot of money, but I'm talking about your time, your energy, your spirit, your invigoration, your power, your love, your light, your ability to lighten up somebody else's day. Sometimes giving a person a good word is more important than giving somebody some money. Sometimes giving somebody a pat on the back is more important than $10,000. But whatever it is that we have to give, it's our duty to give it, and it's our privilege to give it, because that's why God gave it to us in the first place, so we can give it away. Because love is like a magic penny. Hold it tight, you won't have any, but you give it away, you'll end up having more. So let me show you a story in the Bible about a stingy dude and how much it cost him. And then let me show you how we ought to be behaving so that we can really have a beautiful, phenomenal, fantastic life. I just want to testify for a few minutes. If it's anything that got me up out these streets, if it's anything that helped me to be able to take care of 3 generations worth of kids now. I'm working on my 3rd generation of kids to take care of. And they're not even born yet because I don't have any great grandchildren yet. but we already have things in place so that the great grandchildren can start benefiting from what we're doing. And the number one reason is generosity, cut and dry above everything else, because you should have something going on in your life right now that's 100% inexplicable. 100% you can't explain it. All right. So everybody put E CEI in the chat. I want this to be your week. I want you to have a week. Come on, put it in the chat. CEI. You see what you're talking about, Brother Ricky? I want you to have a week this week, and I want you to have a quarter this last quarter that leads into the next year. And I want this to be I want you to start working on this now. And I want you to be able to honestly say that 2026, I can't explain it. Are you hearing me? I can't explain how wonderful life is. I can't explain it. The only thing I can attribute it to was generosity, is that I finally stopped being so stingy. I finally stopped hoarding on to my gifts. I finally stopped hoarding on to my love. I finally stopped holding out, because I don't know what day is the last day of my life, and you don't know what the last day of your life is. And whatever you got to give, would you go ahead on and give it up? Why? Because it's dangerous not to. Number one, because it's required. But after you start doing it, you'll start having things happen to you that you can't explain. I guarantee it. How do I know that? Because it's my life. Nobody can take away your experiences in life. Are you hearing me? I'm so glad my grandmother used to take the clothes of men off of their back and wash them with her bare hands. I'm so glad she did that. I'm so glad that she would feed them as they walked out of the railroad station to make sure they had something to eat. I'm so glad she did that. I'm so glad that she would give them back their clean clothes and give them some dignity, because she was born in 1892 and she was doing this during the Depression, when men didn't have $1 in their pocket and literally nothing to eat and no work and no dignity whatsoever, and people were suicidal. And she was able to take people and help them get some dignity. I'm so glad that I have that in my genes. Are you listening to what I'm talking about? Why don't you have that testimony? Why don't you have that testimony that when you dead and in the grave, your grandkids will be generous? Why? Because they got you all up inside of them. Don't you know you got the ability to be able to do that? Oh, yes, you do. You can be so generous right now until your grandkids can't help but give, because it's all up in their blood. And I know I got a testimony. I know I got a witness on it. If I'm a put I'm a witness in the chat. If you're a witness, go ahead, put it in the chat. I'm a witness. I know some of y'all have some praying grandmamas. All right. Put I'm a witness in the chat if you're a witness. Right now, you're doing stuff, and it's just in your genes, just all up in your blood. Are you hearing me? I said in your genes. So, do I have a witness? I said, do I have a witness? Do I have at least one? Put I'm a witness in the chat if I got a witness. Just one witness. Are you hearing me? Just so you know what, Lord, I can't help but help the next person around me. It's all up in my blood. It's all up in my DNA. I can't help but help the next person around me. I can't let people walk by me and they need some help, and I ain't gonna do nothing about it. I'm gonna do something about it every single chance I get. I'm telling you, you're about to have a life that you can't explain. Are you hearing me? You're about to have a life that you can't explain. So here's a situation. See, this is sobering to me, because I believe in heaven and I believe in hell. You know, I know people don't talk about hell too much. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell most people don't believe in hell because they're so stingy, they couldn't possibly believe in hell. A lot of people believe in heaven, and you hear people talk about it a lot. But you know, these little hand-pecked preachers today, they don't talk too much about hell. Why? Because they don't want to scare the people out their church. But I'm like, listen, if the person up in your church is a hellion, then you need to scare the hell out of them. All right. All right. Now, if they happen to lead a church building, then that's their personal business. All right. But you shouldn't be no preacher and people feel comfortable around you being a stingy, tight butt cheek pharisaical mob. You should not be a preacher. You need to drop your flag. Are you thinking what I'm talking about? You need to be able to look a person in the eye and let them know if you're stingy, you're going to hell, and you need to check yourself. All right. Why? Don't go to hell over being stingy. All right, what you gonna do? You can't take the money with you. What if money can make it to hell? It'd be the first thing to burn is paper. All right, so use some common sense. All right, and use some godly sense, and understand that you are required as a human being. I'm required as a human being to pay attention to the people around us. And indifference is a dangerous thing to have, because indifference is an abomination, and you can't be indifferent with people. You got to get on one side of the tracks or the other. You cannot have no unneutral stand, like it don't really matter to you. Not to meet God in peace. It ain't gonna happen. Right now, you can do it if you want to do, but ain't no gangsters in heaven. Are you hearing me? Ain't nobody kicking no doors down. Ain't no ghettos in heaven. Ain't no ghetto behavior in heaven. None of that. I hear what I'm talking about. You're gonna have to get it together right now, or you ain't gonna never see no heaven, because God got a place for people that's got good sense, who love to help people, and he got a place for folks that's stingy, don't want to help nobody, because he ain't gonna have nobody hanging out around him through eternity who was stingy on earth. That ain't gonna happen. All right. So, let me prove it to you. All right. Let me read you a scripture. Scriptures you probably don't hear too much these days. All right. This is St. Luke chapter 16, starting at verse number 19. Luke 16 and 19. To say there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple. Ah, that's funny. I didn't even, when I was getting ready to teach this, I didn't realize I had a purple suit on. You say there was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. In other words, he was clean. All right, everybody put it in the chat. He was clean. This Negro was clean. All right, he was clean every day too. The Bible said he fared sumptuously every day. I mean, he was sharp 7 days a week. Everybody put 7C. He was clean 7 days a week. 7C, put it in the chat. 7C. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which laid at his gate full of sores. All right. He said, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. He said, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. You ever had a dog lick your sores? I said, you ever have a dog lick your sores? You ever had a dog? Look, I went down south one summer, and them mosquitoes down there in Arkansas, where my daddy was, some mosquitoes was vicious. Some mosquitoes ate me up. I had bumps on me that looked like I came back from Vietnam. Excuse me. I had bumps on me. Them things were so big, and I started scratching them. And so it was just big sores. And I had a dog named Cuddles that I really loved when I got back home. And Cuddles licked my sores and healed my sores. I didn't know that. I know a dog can lick your sores and heal them. So I'm feeling Lazarus right here, because Lazarus is laying on the side of the road and he's so full of sores. I don't know, maybe the mosquitoes eating him up or something. Maybe it's hot out there or something. Maybe that Arkansas heat is on him. I don't know what part of Jerusalem they was in. I don't know what Jesus telling this story about, but whatever he's talking about, my man got them sores on him like I have from down south, and I know what they feel like. And the dogs came by and licked his sores. So he was getting treated better by a dog than he was getting treated by human beings. Do you know that's why people love their pets so much? You know that? You know that's why people love their pets so much? You got people right now who will never marry nobody and never get married again because of what they've been through in marriages. They say, you know what, I don't even want to be bothered with that no more. But they'll have a dog to the day they drop dead. Why? Because the dog treat them good every day. I don't want it to be on my record. And I pray you don't have it on your record. I hope you don't go to sleep and your dog treated the person around you better than you did. I hope you don't go to sleep and dogs are treating human beings better than a human being is treating another human being. I hope that don't happen to you. I hope you ain't so sanctimonious and so self-righteous and so churchified, you dig what I'm talking about, and so pharisaical, until you really think it's okay to walk by a human being and play that human being off and act like that human being ain't important. I certainly hope that ain't the case. And I just want to encourage you this morning to not just be a little generous, but to make generosity one of your creative crafts for the rest of this year. This is a great week to start with Thanksgiving on your mind. All right. Great week to start. Great way to start out your week. Creative generosity. Everybody put CG in the chat. I want to challenge you all to creative generosity this week. You say, what do you mean? I want you to sit down and think about how you're going to help somebody. I want you to actually think about it. I want you to actually put it down on paper the same way you write out a business plan. All right. Because part of my weekly schedule that I taught y'all how to do, that I've been doing for 9 years, part of my weekly schedule is creative giving. It's the first thing in my category. I got a spiritual side, a financial side, a personal side, and I got a distraction side that I try my best to stay out of. All right. I ain't mad no thousand, but I'm doing good, better than I would be if I hadn't had this stuff written down. Right? I write down what it is I want to do every Sunday, most Sundays. All right. Sometimes I forget, but most Sundays, and it's been going on for 9 years. I write down this 4-quadrant thing about what I'm going to do for the week. But I've always got the number one thing, generosity. It's always first before finances. I'm like, I'm going to help somebody this week. You say, what you mean, brother? You go to church and you get 10% of your money? No, I don't get 10% of my money to a church. You say you don't do that? No, I go out and get my money directly to people. I know they got it. You say, I don't care what you do. You do what you want to do. You say, well, now you violating the church rules and all that. I went from being $50 and homeless to making over $11 million. You do it make the most sense to you. I already know what I do work. Now you do it if it make the most sense to you. All right. I don't need you to be judging my situation. One thing for sure, if you're stingy, it ain't going to end up good. So you decide who you want to give, and how you want to give to somebody, but don't use nothing for an excuse. I know I'm not going to give a whole lot of money to churches because I don't like the way most of these churches behave. I don't like the way they act. All right. My wife, she deal with a church that she helps with their ministry, with their homeless ministry, and they got $100 that they put towards the homeless ministry. I'm like, what the hell? They trying to make sure the people stay homeless? But she's so nice until she goes out in the woods to get the homeless folk and feed them and stuff. And she's stirring everybody up to try to make them do right. I'm like, yeah, but I ain't gonna give them my money. Why? Because they got $100 for a homeless ministry. I ain't gonna G for that. I hear what I'm talking about. So you do it make the most sense to you. And whenever we go out in the woods and get these people, what have you, I just give them money myself because I know they got it. And then we help people as individual folks to make sure they're okay. We follow up on the people, try to help them get jobs and stuff like that. Why? Because that was the reason God gave us the money in the first place. God didn't give you no money so you can sit around and count it. You make sure that your family taken care of first, and then you get out in the community and make sure everybody's taken care of. That's why God makes kings and queens, because we're gonna set it out. You hear what I'm talking about? I was just listening to this video this morning. I want to encourage you all to get this documentary on Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte was a civil rights activist, and he really, really, really cared about people, really deeply cared about people. Harry Belafonte. He was an amazing entertainer, and he was a groundbreaker because he was one of the first Black entertainers to make it to midstream, to make it to the mainstream, and was accepted by all races to sing and act and stuff. His records were selling for millions and stuff, but he was a major, major, major activist for the poor, major civil rights activist. And he has a really nice documentary on him. He hosted the Tonight Show for an entire week, the Johnny Carson Tonight Show in 1968, the year that Martin Luther King got assassinated, the year that Robert Kennedy got assassinated. And both of them had been on Tonight Show, on that show that week with him. And within about a month of them both being interviewed on the Tonight Show, they both were dead. All right. So you say, what's my point? That's because they were willing to die for generosity. And what I'm telling you is that if you're going to see God's face in peace, we all going to die one day anyway. None of us know when we're going to die, and we don't necessarily know how we're going to die. But we know this: we're not going to be dead before we die, because a person that's stingy is already dead. So when you die, you just died twice. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not dying twice. I'm only dying one time. All right. When I'm dead, everything will be on the playing field. All right. And I'm willing to die for what I believe in. So if that means helping people and helping people to get me in trouble, then bring it on. All right. Because ain't nobody backing up off of helping nobody. And when you help people, it gets you in trouble. Why? Because greedy people don't like you helping folk. We teach people how to get their money back from the bank. I know the greedy people don't like me doing that. I know the Federal Reserve don't like me doing it. I know the FBI don't like me doing it. I know the banks don't like me doing it. But I don't give a rat's behind what none of them think. Why? Because I'm willing to die for what I believe in. And if it's going to help somebody, then I'm going to teach people what's going to help somebody to the day I drop dead, because I'm not going to be dead before I die, because a coward dies 10,000 deaths every day anyway. I hear what I'm talking about? So just go ahead and do whatever you're going to do. We go out and pass out money in the hood. I'm not afraid of nobody jumping on me. I take thousands of dollars into the hood and pass money out. I ain't afraid of nobody. I ain't afraid of nothing, because I'm not afraid to die. You hear what I'm talking about? When I was watching that documentary today, and I thought about Dr. King and how he was starting this campaign for poor people to Washington, and how when the thing happened with the sanitation workers in Memphis, he said, I'm going down to help the people in Memphis because they treating the sanitation workers like dogs, just like the story I'm about to tell you right now, treating a human being like a dog. And he said, I'm not going for it. He said, I'm going down here and I'm going to speak up about what's going on. And I'm going to let everybody know you got to treat these brothers and sisters right, because Dr. King didn't think he was better than nobody, even though he was world famous and all that sort of thing. He could have been a scholar. The way he preached and talked and all that, he could have stayed up north. He didn't have to live down south. He didn't have to live no place where he took all those chances on his life and where eventually he got murdered. He didn't have to live like that. He could have been a person that was like, you know what? I'm not taking no chances on my life. I'm just going to coast as much as possible. But that brother was like, I'm going to live until I die. And he said that longevity is good, but it's not everything. He said it's the quality of your life, not the length of it, that matters. And so I woke up this morning watching this documentary, and it really moved me, And I'm just so glad, because I got the same spirit inside of me that he had inside of him. And I'm going to live that same way until the day I die. And I just want to encourage y'all, because it's Thanksgiving week, but our lives is Thanksgiving every day. And I want to encourage you all to start doing the same thing so that you can have a remarkable life and stop waiting on your life to become remarkable. Speed up the process through generosity. You hear what I'm talking about? All right, um, so let's finish. Let's go back to here. Let's go back to here and see what's happening right here. Y'all watch that. It's a good documentary. It's on Harry Belafonte and how he hosted the Tonight Show for 1 week in 1968. It is amazing documentary. I think you ought to really enjoy it if you decide you want to look at it. All right, so here's the rich man, and he said, and here's Lazarus, and the dogs are licking his sores. He said, and it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. He said, and in hell lifted he up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. Let me explain something to you all. This is amazing to me. It's amazing how people rob, steal, rape, pillage, kill, trick folk, sneaky, manipulative. All of us some money. All of us some money as though it goes beyond the grave. It's almost like they think it's going to give them more years on their life. But the fact of the matter is that everybody dies. It don't matter how much money nobody got. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. Did y'all hear what I said? Everybody. Nobody get no pass. Are you hearing me? So here's my man. And he acting like he ain't gonna even die. But he died. And let me tell you something about the grave, baby. When you walk by the grave, everybody in the grave is just as dead. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? The grave is an equal opportunity employer. And let me tell you something. It's waiting on me and it's waiting on you. And you know what? That's one appointment that you're going to keep. That's one appointment I'm going to keep. The Bible said it's appointed unto man. What? It's appointed unto man. Who? It's appointed unto man once to die. And after that, the judgment. For God should bring into account every deed that we do with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So it don't make no sense to be running around here acting like we ain't going to die. But people live like they ain't going to die. How do I know that? Because I see stingy person after stingy person after stingy person. And I'm like, you know, you're going to have to pay for being stingy, don't you? And they like, what you talking about, Brother Rick? I'm like, stingy people go to hell. Don't you understand that? They're like, come on, you kind of exaggerating, ain't you, Brother Rick? I'm like, you're going to find out as soon as one of them flames hit your butt, you're going to know that it wasn't no joke. You cannot live this life stingy and see God's face in peace. It is not going to happen. Are you hearing me? Because God is what? He loves a cheerful giver, but he don't make nobody give nothing. Are you hearing me? He don't force nobody to do anything. Everything that we do is based on our own free will. God will never just break us off and grab us by our neck and drag us someplace and make us do something, because then he couldn't get no glory out of it. The only reason God gets some glory out of something is because we decide to do it on our own fruition. And what he loves, what a cheerful giver. And the only kind of giver he loves is a cheerful giver. So if you're giving something that ain't cheerful, you ain't giving it no way. Right. You might as well hoard onto it and at least have your fun right now before you burn up. I hear what I'm talking about. But don't be no half-hearted giver. If you're gonna give something to somebody, then do it with all your heart. Let me tell you about Deacon Brown. Let me tell y'all something. Because some of y'all don't know how to give when you don't agree, or when things don't go your way, or when the majority want to do something else. And let me help you out. Deacon, let me call Deacon Brown to the stand. The church was having a meet, this particular church, and they wanted to build a building for me. And Deacon Brown said, I think that's a waste of the church's money. I don't agree with that. So the church said, we're going to do it anyway. And the consensus said so they voted on it. So they decided to do it. So he's a member of the church, and he wasn't going to lead the church, but he didn't like what they was doing. So the next morning, he showed up 15 minutes early before the meeting started. So they said, man, here come Deacon Brown. I hope he ain't about to give us no trouble, So they said, hey, Deke, what's up, man? We know you ain't down with this. So what's up, man? Just come on out with it. You here 15 minutes early. He said, I'm ready to work. They said, huh? He said, I'm ready to work. They said, you ready to work? We thought you disagreed. He said, yeah, but the church ain't revolved around me. All right. He said, so since the majority agreed with it, and I agree to be a member of this particular congregation, then I don't have to have everything my way, because everything is not going to be my way. And now I'm not just here. I'm here early because I came to work. All right. Because that's the kind of generosity that God expects out of his people. He don't expect people to be holding out and having an attitude problem because it didn't go the way that you want. So you give, but you give it half-heartedly. What I'm telling you is that it's just like not giving it at all, because God can see through that little plastic stuff. It ain't nothing like being around people with resentment in your heart. People can pick up on that stuff, and it's debilitating to the spirit of everybody around, because one bad apple, it spoils the whole bunch. That's why, as a business owner, you should pay close attention to the people around you, and you should have a culture of giving and generosity. And when you find somebody who act like they don't appreciate that culture, you should have a conversation with them and say, it appears to me that you don't like the giving spirit that we have, and that you don't like to do the same thing. And they say, yeah, I really don't like it around here. Okay, well, then before you quit, I'm just gonna fire you. All right. So I can help you out. You go back out there into the stingy world that you was in before you met us. Okay. Go right back to your stingy ways and doing that stingy stuff. And if you decide to repent and change your attitude, then then come back and holler at us and see if these positions are still available, because we're not going to hell around here. All right. We don't play around with God. We know that what? We know that generosity is required of a brother and a sister that's gonna make it to heaven. And we ain't playing no games around here. It's required. Are you hearing me? Not maybe, kind of, sort of. Not you got a choice or something like that. And then what? People around you to get some act right, because people just don't have the fear of God in them no more. That's what's wrong with people. This era that we live in right now, everybody's just go for what you know. Ain't nobody got no standards. It's just what I shouldn't say nobody. You know what I mean? I'm saying that a lot of what we see today on display is people ain't got no standards, and the biggest problem is because the little punk preachers. Preachers don't want to offend nobody. I'm like, how in the world are you gonna be a preacher and you don't offend people? It ain't nowhere in the world. Not only do I offend people talking about the Bible, but I offend people in business a lot. Why? Because when I come in and they start talking about what they're doing, I'm like, that don't work. I'm like, not only that don't work, but that ain't gonna never work. I'm like, you violating way too many principles for what you practice in the work. You ain't gonna never be able to put cheese on a Whopper until you change the way you're doing stuff, because that stuff don't add up. And I just give it to them up straight up, no chaser. When I leave, I'm sure they cussing and stuff in the background, saying who that so and so and so and so think he is. That's the way real people are. When we leave you, we don't care about what you thought. All right. Matter of fact, we hope we stirred you up. We hope you cussing, because maybe now you're thinking about what we told you, and now maybe you'll be thinking about straightening that stuff up. But we're not going to come in and smooth around with you and play games with you and all this sort of thing. Why? Because we love you, and love is generous. Love means you tell a person what it is, straight up, no chaser, and you just deal with whatever the consequences is. That's why I love Dr. King, because Dr. King was dealing with people. He was a loving man, a generous man who was dealing with people, scoundrels, savages, demonic spirits, and still loving the people, but still checking them and letting them know. He was just like Jesus. Jesus was dealing with all these savage spirits, these evil folks, these stingy people who want prestige and power, could care less about the next human being. And he came in and put a serious monkey wrench in their program, and they didn't like him because the Pharisees, they wasn't Pharisee, and the Sadducees, they was real Sadducee, and they didn't like the fact that what he was coming around talking about love your neighbor and pray for them that spitefully use you, and yada, all the things that Jesus was teaching. They was like, this dude crazy as hell. We don't want to hear that. He putting a monkey wrench in our religious program, because we held in high esteem around here, because we walk around here fad sumptuously every day. We clean to the nines, you hear me, with our purple suits on. Right around here. Y'all stop laughing at my purple suit. I know some of y'all calling me Barney right now. All right. What's the Barney song? I love you, you love me. Is that the Barney song? Everybody put BB in the chat. Go ahead. Y'all can tease Brother Rick today. Brother Rick got on his purple suit. Y'all go ahead, put BB in the chat. Brother Barney, go ahead. Y'all can put it in the chat. Go ahead. I got good at it. I got a good spirit. I can take a joke. Go ahead. Go ahead, get down on your brother a little bit. Say, Brother Rick think he clean over there, looking like Barney with that purpose. So go ahead, put BB in the chat. I still love you. I still love you, Nancy. It's all right. Yeah, I still love you, babe. Babe, you still cool with me. It's all right. Yeah, yeah. You too, Ken. You all right with me? You still all right? Nancy, we still cool. We still cool. All right, let's read what happened to this dude. So the rich dude, he rich, but he still went to hell, right? so he says, and in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip. He's saying, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. All right, now he want to turn Lazarus into a water fountain. See, this is the problem with folks. I know people don't believe in hell. I know they don't. I know they don't, because they're way too stingy. Stingy people really think they going to heaven. I'm like, you're not going to heaven. You're going to hell. He said, I don't believe it. Well, you'll find out. All right. You fine, excuse me. You fine. Say, Rick, almost every time you're on here, you're talking about, always talking about going out and giving something to somebody and all that sort of thing. Let's you be fronting or something like that. No, I'm just afraid of God. All right. You say, see, that's it. That's it. See, God ain't paying no attention to you because you giving because you're afraid of God. I'm like, God put the story in the Bible to help me get afraid of him. What you think Jesus telling these stories for? He's trying to scare the hell out of people. Right? And I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie. I'm scared of God. That's why I ain't got two chicks. Why you think I got two chicks? You say, wow, you got that beautiful, lovely wife, Brother Ricky. Yeah, she's beautiful and lovely, but it's a 700 million beautiful, lovely chicks running around. You hear what I'm talking about? I ain't got no other chick. Not, I mean, I love Shantae, God bless her heart and all that, but that ain't the main reason. The main reason is because I'm afraid to go to hell. Why? Because you can justify having two chicks. You say, I just love both of y'all. What the hell? I'm rich. I got plenty of money. I just take care of both of y'all. You can have a yacht over here, baby, and you can have a car down there, and you can have this, and you can have that, and you can. And if I was doing things based on my own, and I'm from the streets. I'm with pimps and hustlers. Okay, so we always had play overtime with all the chicks. You say, how you give up all them women and all that sort of thing, Rick? Because I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. Okay, I'm scared to what? Go to hell. Yes, I'm scared to go to hell. Right. I'm afraid of hell. I don't want to go. Why? Because you can't get no water. Hey, listen to me. I'm thirsty all the time. I think I'm thirsty more than I am hungry. You hear me? The idea of not getting nothing to drink. I mean, never. This man is in hell. His little Superfly outfit don't mean nothing now. You hear me? His little gangster brim don't mean nothing now. What? He in hell. He can't get nothing to drink. He's so messed up in the head until he's so selfish in hell until he asks the man, can you get the brother who I used to treat like a dog to just take the tip of his finger and touch my tongue? He's so selfish. He in hell and still trying to get the person who he treated like hell to treat him better from hell, from heaven to hell. That's how crazy people are until you go to hell and still begging. What? Trying to get out of situations and trying to be slick and trying to be manipulative. That's why stingy people, manipulative people, sneaky people, corrupt folks, nickel slick wannabe Negroes are all going to hell. When I say Negroes, I'm talking about every Chinese Negroes, white Negroes, black Negroes, Indian Negroes, Mexican Negroes. Yeah, all stingy, manipulative folk going to hell. I don't care what color you are. It don't make no difference. I hear what I'm talking about. So you better stop rallying around thinking of your creed and your color and all that kind of stuff like that's gonna stop you from going to hell. The only thing gonna stop you from going to hell is generosity. I hear what I'm talking about. You better be generous. Why? Because that's why God forgive you for all the sinning and stuff you do, because your generosity, he looks at that and then he sits and has some mercy on you to give you some time to get your stuff together when you're tricking off and you know you're tricking off. And then he gives you a chance to get your heart right and and soften your heart up. And generosity is what softens your heart up. Are you listening to me? Are you hearing what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the act of getting up off your butt and going to do something for somebody. It tenderizes your heart so you can stop your own sin. Hey, listen, how do I know? Why do you think God told us to feed somebody that's hungry, clothe somebody that's naked, and visit somebody that's sick or in prison? Because it humbles you. And then you stop committing adultery. Then you stop fornicating. Then you stop lying. Then you stop cheating. Then you stop doing all the sneaky little petty stuff that we do as human beings. Why? Because the generosity of giving and stuff, it really changes your heart. Not just saying, Lord, forgive me, Jesus Christ, you my savior. That ain't good enough. You say that is good enough. That make you saved. No, that gets you started, but you got to finish what you started. Are you hearing me? Because faith without works is dead. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? And Jesus is very smart. He knows what it takes to soften the hard, cruel, evil heart of a human being. He knows what it takes. So he said, listen, I hear what you're saying with all the, the prayer and all this sort of thing. He said, well, let me help you out, player. If you really gonna beat me in peace, follow the lifestyle that I had when I was walking around on earth. That's what I came for, to show y'all how to get your priorities straight. Because y'all priorities ain't straight. Y'all around here trying to dominate each other. Are you hearing me? That's human beings, human nature is to dominate one another. Not to do what? Not to help each other, but to dominate each other. He says, I came in and I showed you how to do it. That's why I was feeding folks that was hungry. That's why I was clothing people that was naked. That's why I was healing folks. So you can do the same thing. All right. And then your heart is softened. And then you can do what? You can save yourself from hell. Are you hearing me? So when you go into a hospital, we went to see my friend a couple of days ago. They had some strokes. And when you go in the hospital, and I was kissing my friend's head and I was singing to him and kissing his head and singing to him. He had like 17, probably about 20 strokes. And I'm just singing to him and kissing his head, singing to him. He can't talk. He can't talk. His eyes was watering a little bit. I think he was just appreciating somebody being in the room, loving him. And then a nurse, she was over there and she said, "We really appreciate your songs." I said, "I really appreciate you, sister." All right. Her name was Haley, by the way. Y'all pray for Haley. That's a heck of a job to be changing people, moving, because he's in a rehab place. And take a lot of energy, and I just admire people who can just pour into another human being. Because I remember when my mother was sick the last 2 months and we was changing and stuff, it was so draining until I felt like I was going to faint, because it's just so unusual to have to change your own mother. And my brother, big ups to him, because he took care of her way more than I did, because he lived right down the hall from her. So he was taking care of her on a regular basis. And I just really appreciated that. What's my point? My point is that this type of giving, you should have to go someplace and lay down and get some sleep. You say you think you're giving to people. I'm like, "Are you tired?" Like, "No, I'm not really tired." I'm like, "Well, you ain't really giving nothing." When you really start giving to people, you need to go someplace and lay down. I mean, you have to recuperate. Why do you think Jesus used to have to leave everybody and go on a mountainside someplace to get replenished? Because he was such a giving person. All right. Because he was such a giving person, he was drained. You say, "How Jesus wasn't drained?" Oh, yes, he was. Oh, yes, he was. How do we know that? Because when the woman with the issue of blood got up on him and touched him his garment, he said, "Who touched me?" And they said, "Everybody around you touching." He said, "No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about who just drained me, who just took the energy out of me, who just snatched some virtue out of me, who just really got what it was that they came for." Why? Because somebody just zapped me. All right, all right. I ain't got no church today. Everybody put in a chat. Say, "Lord, zap me." Come on, come on, y'all. We all need to be zapped. All right, everybody put "Lord, zap me" in the chat. Why? Because, Lord, I want to do something for somebody, and I expect it to cost me something. I want to do something for somebody, and I expect it to cost me. I want to do something for somebody. I expect to be zapped. All right? Are y'all hearing me? This is how your life becomes amazingly inexplicable, because you volunteer to be zapped. Are you listening to me? You just volunteer for it. You're like, "I'm going to help somebody. It's going to cost me something. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be worn out." Why? Because this life ain't about me. This life is about everybody around me. It's not just about me. It's about everybody around me. It's not just about me. It's about everybody around me. It's not just about me. It's about everybody around me. It's not just about me. It's about everybody around me. All right? I'm not saying that life is not about you. I'm just saying it's not just about you. I'm not saying life ain't about Brother Ricky. I'm saying it ain't just about Brother Ricky. And I'm saying when you make life just about you, you are one miserable person, because you cannot what? You cannot you cannot have a joyful life that's not a life of giving. It's impossible. Are you hearing me? So number one, giving is required. Okay. And number two, giving is redemptive. Are you hearing me? The only thing that can redeem you, and the only thing that can redeem me, is giving, generosity. That's what the redemptive quality of it is. It's redemptive. It gives you virtue, character, moral fiber, love, peace, joy, energy, the ability to actually have some type of impact on another human being. Generosity is what you get out the bed for. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Well, you say, "Brother Ricky, ain't another way to get redeemed?" Well, check out the rich man. Look how he trying to get his redemption. He's trying to get his redemption from the guy that he dogged. He said, he said, and he cried and said, "Father Abraham, I want to be redeemed." But he said, "Have mercy on me and send Lazarus." He said, "that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame." But Abraham said, "Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest good things." You remember that? Remember how sharp he was, bro? You remember that? Remember your little gangster brim? You remember how you was diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging in the scene with a gangster lean. Ooh, ooh. You remember that, bro? You remember that, bro? You remember that, bro? He say, "But now you can't get a drink of water." "Baby, please, baby, please, baby, please, baby, please." Now you know how to singing Boys to Men. "I'm down on bended knee." Well, sorry, Charlie. All right. Everybody put that C in the chat. Sorry, Charlie. All right. But Abraham said, he said, beside all this, He said, between us and you, there's a great gulf fixed. He said, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot. He said, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. All right. So everybody put final in the chat. All right. You say, well, what do you mean, Brother Ricky? Hell is final. I don't care what you believe. Some of y'all believe in some of y'all believe all kind of crazy stuff. Some of y'all think you've been reincarnated. Some of y'all think it's a place called purgatory. Y'all just be making up all kind of stuff. Why? Because all that witchcraft going on. Because you just don't want to do right. When you don't want to do right, you got to make up a whole lot of stuff. Are you hearing me? Purgatory, purgatory. Where do you get that? What the hell? What kind of idolatry demon worship is that? Purgatory. Just gonna make up a joint. Ain't nowhere in the Bible about no purgatory. It's two places, baby. There's two places, heaven and hell. And we all going to one of them. Are you hearing me? And they both are what? Final. Are you hearing me? He said, can't nobody pass from here up there, and ain't nobody up there coming down here or going down there. He said, it's final, bruh. It's final. He said, it's a great gulf between the two of us. So now, my man, he finally get where man, I got to get out of here. All right. So now, my man, I don't want to be 1 minute late for church. I'm going to hear quiet jam today. And finally, so he said, I'll tell you what. He said, just let me go back to the crib. Now, dig this. People be talking to you like once you tell them something is final. See, that's why in our business, we don't call dealing with customers closing sales. We don't call it that. When we get a customer, a new person do business with us, we don't have salespeople. We have consultants. We don't call it selling because I don't like that. I don't like selling, in a conventional sense. Because only thing you can possibly do around me is what you want to do. And you better help persuade me that it's good for me to be in business with you because we get down. We got really organized in how we do business. And we don't really even need another customer. We appreciate every customer we get, but we don't need none. All right. Because we got this stuff on lock. So when a customer come around, we let them know, we appreciate you coming. You dig what I'm saying? But ain't nobody trying to coerce you into doing nothing. You do it because you want to do it. So when you close a sale, that's when I'm talking to somebody and they ain't got good sense. And that's when I cut them off. And what they don't understand is when I cut them off, it's final. I'm like, no, you can never be a customer. You hear what I'm talking about? Why? Because you violated the rule that I told you about before I started even talking. And then you did it anyway. That means you ain't got no respect. When a person tell you how to get down and then you shocked because they really get down the way they get down, and then you act like you're gonna change that culture or something like that. See, you smoking some brand new weed. So for all of you all who think God don't mean what he's saying when he tell you that it's final, and then you think you're gonna come up with some type of game or some type of script or something to get out of what God said is final, I want you to know that you are very delusional in that it's final. And when it's final, it's final. So that's why when you closing a sale on somebody, that means you through messing with them for life. And you let people know when you first start out doing business and how you do things and what's going on. These are my rules. If you violate this rule, I'm through with you. All right. It ain't nothing else to talk about. All right. I was passing out a few dollars a couple of days ago. So when I was through passing out the dollars, a couple of cats showed up and they was like, hey man, we heard you still blessing folks. I say, no, we done with that. All right. We still passing out some other stuff. Y'all can get some of that. Hey man, I say, hey, brother, I just told you that ain't passing out no more money today. All right. That's final. All right. And don't ask me again. I say, don't ask me again. Right. Look, I'm from these streets, man. Just because we down here doing stuff, being nice to y'all and all that sort of thing. Don't come around here like no little gangster. These some little punks. All right. We done did most stuff in this life and you can possibly dream up. So ain't nobody afraid of you. Saved, man. How you hear I'm talking about? Full of the power of God. How you hearing me? Got a gangster angel armies all around us everywhere we go. Strapped. How you hearing I'm talking about? And when I tell you something, partner, that's it. Are you hearing me? Anybody talking to you no more? And I already told you what's going on. That sale is closed. It ain't gonna never be open up again. Are you hearing me? But we don't believe in the finality of God. That's why people act what? So duplistic. Are y'all hearing me? People don't believe in the finality of God. They think God playing. They think when God says something that you can still do what you want to do and it's still gonna be all gravy, but it's not gonna be all gravy. Are you hearing me? Why? Because when it's over, it's over. Are you hearing me? And I know people don't talk like this no more. And that's why we got such a compromising way of doing things as human beings. Don't keep our word, lie about this and lie about that. Me being a businessman, I done met so many liars in my business life. I could, I could write a book on liars. I'm like, man, that ain't what you said. That's why every time you're doing business with folks, they should always have to sign a contract for everything that they do. All right. And then if they act crazy, you just show them the contract. I remember the first time I sold a house, I did a double closing and I sold it and I bought it from a lady for $10,000. And we had discussed 10,000 or 15,000. She said she'd rather take the 10,000 faster. So I said, cool. So I sold the crib and I was making like $35,000 off of it in 2 days. So when we got to the closing, she said, how much you say you was giving me again, Ricky? I said, look at your contract and what does it say? She said, oh, it say 10,000. I said, you got any more questions? She was like, oh no. Why? So what? You thought something changed? I'm amazed at people. People so corrupt, so sneaky, so just full of it, just so petty. It's just our human nature. Until we'll try to be involved in something and try to see how much we can squeeze out of it while we putting in the least amount. And I'm like, that's not what generosity is. That's not what giving is. Giving is given out of a happy heart, out of a benevolent heart, glad to do it, not trying to be sneaky and not trying to hold out and not trying to get the benefit of giving without doing the act of the giving, which is what people try to do. Let me give you two more people who are in hell right now, kicking it with the rich man. One of them name is Ananias and his wife. Her name is Sapphira. I'm sure they got a real hot part of the fire in hell when they got when God pushed that button down on them when they was talking to Pete. So they're talking to Peter. Peter, you know, Peter ain't no joke. He ain't nobody be playing around with. Peter, when Peter got crucified, he told him, man, crucify me upside down. I ain't even worthy to die like Jesus. Are you hearing me? Peter wasn't no joke. Peter full of power and a love of God. And so these little munchkins, they roll up on Pete trying to be slick, and they gonna go sell some property and bring the money back, and they gonna steal some of the money. The money short, they gonna try to act like the money ain't short. So Pete like, man, this money looks short to me, player. What's up? So Ananias like, that's all the money, baby. Straight up, no chaser. Pete say, man, you're a lying devil, drop dead. All right. So, so he goes out. How do I say goodbye? So he down the drain, right? And then here comes his old lying wife. A few minutes later, what's up, Pete? He like, what's up with you, baby? Baby, did your husband, when he dropped that paper off, was that all the paper? Oh yeah, Pete, that was all the paper. You're a drop dead, number two. All right. He said the same dudes, the same funeral home, come and get her. Yeah, y'all stock going up today. What, y'all got 2 funerals in one day? Why? Because when somebody tells you something, it's final. Are you hearing me? And don't try to be slick, nickel slick, and all that sort of thing. Just pay the price for stuff. It's much better to pay the little price than to pay the big price. The little price ain't nothing. What? Honesty. Just pay the price of honesty. And don't tell nobody you're gonna do nothing if you ain't gonna do it. Just say, no, I ain't gonna do it. All right. When people ask me to do something, I just tell them if I don't want to do it, I just tell them no. I'm not doing that. They can pout, do rain dances, whatever they want to do. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Because why? Because I don't want to do it. I only do what I want to do. All right. And I want to do the will of God. So I want to give money and stuff. And I want to give my time. I want to give my energy because that's what Jesus told me to do. And that's what I'm going to spend my time doing. I ain't going to spend my time doing what other people want me to do. I'm like, but that ain't what God want me to do. So I'm not going to spend my time doing what you want to do. I'm messing around and go to hell messing around with you. Are you hearing me? I'm going to do what God told me to do, not what you told me to do. And what? I'm going to be in conflict with somebody. So I'd rather be in conflict with you and go to heaven and be in conflict with God and go to hell. How much sense does it make to let another human being talk you into going to hell? So you got conflict with God, but you cool with them. I'm like, people are busters. They ain't got good sense. All right, ignore them marks. They stingy. Are you hearing me? Self-consumed. Got bad attitudes. Breath stink. You dig what I'm talking about? That's why I walk around all the time with some of these right here. Right, see? So when I start talking to people and they breath stink, I'll be like, hey, player. I'll be like, you know what? You need, I got an extra one for you. Everybody put SB in the chat. Y'all know y'all be talking to folks with some stinky breath. What I'm talking about the stuff they talking about is crazy. All right. You know what I'm talking about? They need a spiritual tic tac up in this piece. Everybody put SB in the chat. And that's what y'all do with the next person that come in trying to talk you into going to hell. Tell them, you know what? Take one of these here. That's stinky, bro. All right, I gotta get out of here. Man. The last one. So number one is required. Number two is redemptive. And then number three, giving is reciprocal. And let me just read it to you. And I gotta run because I don't want to be late for church. All right. Give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet withal shall it be measured to you. So that's the third reason why I love to give. Number one, because it's required. Number two, because it's redemptive. It helped keep a thug acting right. Help somebody with a street mentality like I grew up with. It keeps my mind right. Forgiving. It keeps my mind. It keeps reminding me, man, people are in bad shape, Ricky. Don't trick nobody. People are in bad shape. Treat people good. People are in bad shape, Ricky. Do something good for somebody today. People in bad shape, Ricky. I keep going to places where people are in bad shape. So it keep me sober minded. So it keep me from messing around with the honey. So it keep me from messing around with any type of substances. So it keep me from tricking off. All right. I stay active, generously active. What? So I don't lose my mind. So I don't get narcissistic. So I don't start thinking all that in a bag of chips because I don't want to go to hell. I want to go to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want nothing, no material stuff that's going to make me go to hell. I don't want to be involved with. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I don't want you to go. All right. And I want you to be what? Reciprocated, because giving is reciprocal. You cannot give and things are not be given back to you. It's impossible. Impossible. So this week, I want you to do this. Go out, go to your bank, stack up, go to your bank, stack up. You say, Brother Rick, I ain't hardly got nothing. Stack up or whatever you got. All right. Come on out. Find somebody you don't know who can't help you, who can't pay you back. All right. And just give them something and do it every day this week. All right. I don't know. You do it. That make the most sense to you. All right. Okay. And do it every day this week and watch what happens to you. Watch how this week turns out. It's going to be inexplicable. You ain't gonna be able to explain it. Why? Because it's going to be reciprocal. You're going to reap what you sowed. I guarantee it. You know why I guarantee it? Because the Bible guarantee it. And when the Bible guarantee it, it's guaranteed. It ain't. I'm guaranteeing what the Bible guaranteed. I hear me? I have no doubt about what I'm telling you right now. All right, let's pray. Lord, I thank you for my brothers and my sisters. And somebody here might not be saved, might not know you, might not understand this generosity that you gave us when you gave us your only begotten Son. So, Lord, if you're a sinner and you don't know God, repeat these words after me. Lord, I am a sinner and I'm sorry for my sins. And Lord, I want to thank you for the generosity of sending your Son, Jesus Christ, to save me from my sins so I could become a generous person too. And Lord, I'm sorry for my sins and I'm asking you to forgive me. And I believe that you were risen on the third day from the dead. And I believe that you have all power in heaven and earth in your hand. And I'm asking you to allow me into your kingdom to be your child. And Lord, I want to thank you right now. And I promise you that when I get up off of my knees and get up out of this house today, I'm going to work quick. I'm going to help somebody, Lord, just like you helping me right now. Just lead me and guide me and tell me where to go. And I'll follow you into the ends of the earth in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you all. Somebody just got the goods. Happy for you. Happy for you. Happy for you. Now you have the ability to get out here and go help somebody else. Do it fast. Do it fast before God removes the candlestick from out of you. All right. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege. You have a fantastic Sunday, a great week, an anointed week. Be blessed in the city. Be blessed in the field. And remember that Stella is a Stella does. God bless you. Get out here and be kind today. Give somebody a hug. Give them a shake. All right.